Good day everyone. In this session, we're going to discuss a very crucial topic in cybersecurity, risk management. Now, when we think about cybersecurity, we often picture hackers, malware, phishing emails, or ransomware. But at the heart of cybersecurity is not just fighting attacks when they happen, it's about managing risks before they cause real damage. Risk management is the process that helps organizations identify, assess, and handle potential threats. It's like a safety net that ensures businesses, governments, and even individuals can continue their activities securely, even in the face of cyber threats. So let's break this down step by step. The first step is identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities. Threats are things that could cause harm, like a hacker trying to break into your system, a piece of malware, or even something as simple as an employee accidentally clicking on a suspicious link. Vulnerabilities, on the other hand, are weaknesses in your system that could be exploited. For example, using outdated software, weak passwords, or not encrypting sensitive data. If you think of your system like a house, the threats are the burglars, while the vulnerabilities are the unlocked doors and open windows. Without identifying these weak points, you can't protect yourself effectively. Once threats and vulnerabilities are identified, we move to the second step, assessing the likelihood and impact of risks. Not all risks are equal. Some are very likely to happen but may cause little harm, while others are rare but could cause catastrophic damage. For example, an employee forgetting to log out of a computer might be common, but the risk might be low. On the other hand, a ransomware attack might be less frequent, but its impact can be huge, potentially shutting down entire systems. This step is like creating a map of risks where you calculate both probability and impact. Many organizations use a risk matrix to rank risks from low to high. This helps prioritize what needs urgent attention and what can be monitored over time. The third step is implementing controls to mitigate security risks. Once you know what risks you face, the question becomes, what can you do about them? Mitigation strategies vary depending on the type of risk. Some risks can be reduced by adding technical measures, for example, installing firewalls, using intrusion detection systems, or encrypting sensitive files. Other risks may be addressed by policies and training, such as teaching employees not to click suspicious links or ensuring strong password policies are enforced. In some cases, risks can be transferred, like buying cyber insurance. And in rare cases, an organization may decide to accept a risk if the cost of preventing it is higher than the potential damage. For example, a small business may accept the risk of minor website downtime rather than spending a fortune on enterprise-level backup systems. The key point is that mitigation is not one size fits all, it has to be tailored to the organization's needs. The fourth and final step is continuous monitoring and risk reassessment. Cybersecurity is not a one-time project. The digital landscape is always evolving, and so are the threats. A system that is secure today may not be secure tomorrow. Attackers constantly find new methods, new vulnerabilities appear, and businesses themselves change, new software is installed, more data is collected, employees join or leave. This is why organizations must continuously monitor their systems, watch for unusual activity, and regularly reassess risks. For example, regular penetration testing, vulnerability scans, and audits are important to ensure that the risk management plan is up to date. It's a cycle, not a destination. To bring this to life, let's take a real-world example. Imagine a hospital. For a hospital, cyber risk management is critical. Threats could include ransomware attacks on patient records, phishing emails targeting staff, or vulnerabilities in outdated medical equipment software. The hospital must identify these risks. Then, assess which ones are most dangerous. For example, losing access to patient data in an emergency could have life or death consequences. Next, they implement controls, encrypting patient records, ensuring backups, training doctors and nurses on phishing emails, and using secure networks for equipment. Finally, they must monitor continuously, because cyber threats in healthcare are always evolving. Without risk management, patient lives and the hospital's reputation could both be at stake. Another good example is in the financial sector. Banks face threats from hackers who try to steal money, customer data, or disrupt services. If a bank does not manage these risks effectively, it could lead to massive financial loss and loss of customer trust. That's why financial institutions invest heavily in risk management frameworks, building layered defenses, and performing regular risk audits. Now, why is risk management so important in cybersecurity? Because no system can be 100% secure. It's impossible to eliminate all risks. The goal is to manage them intelligently. Organizations that understand their risks are better prepared to respond quickly and effectively. They don't just react in panic when an incident occurs, they already have plans, controls, and strategies in place. This reduces damage, saves money, and builds trust with customers and stakeholders. In addition, risk management is often a legal and regulatory requirement. Many industries, such as healthcare and finance, are required by law to follow certain standards for risk management. For instance, the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, in Europe or HIPAA in the United States require organizations to protect data and manage risks appropriately. Failing to do so can lead not just to cyber attacks but also to heavy fines and legal penalties. Finally, let's remember that risk management is not just about technology, it's about people and processes too. Most cyber incidents involve human error at some level. So training, awareness, and building a culture of cybersecurity are just as important as installing the latest software. If employees are vigilant, if leadership prioritizes security, and if the organization regularly revisits its risk strategy, the chances of a serious incident drop significantly. Finally, let's remember that risk management is not just about technology, it's about people and processes too. Most cyber incidents involve human error at some level. So training, awareness, and building a culture of cybersecurity are just as important as installing the latest software. If employees are vigilant, if leadership prioritizes security, and if the organization regularly revisits its risk strategy, the chances of a serious incident drop significantly. To conclude, risk management in cybersecurity involves 4 key steps: identifying threats and vulnerabilities, assessing their likelihood and impact, implementing controls, and continuously monitoring and reassessing. It's an ongoing cycle that helps organizations stay one step ahead of attackers. Without risk management, organizations leave themselves exposed to unnecessary dangers. With it, they can minimize harm, reduce costs, and maintain trust in today's digital world. To conclude, risk management in cybersecurity involves 4 key steps: identifying threats and vulnerabilities, assessing their likelihood and impact, implementing controls, and continuously monitoring and reassessing. It's an ongoing cycle that helps organizations stay one step ahead of attackers. Without risk management, organizations leave themselves exposed to unnecessary dangers. With it, they can minimize harm, reduce costs, and maintain trust in today's digital world. Thank you.